First up though, Susan Lee is urging the Nationals leader not to break up the coalition after all National Party frontbenchers quit her shadow cabinet. Let's go live to Amelie Saunders in Canberra. Amelie, good morning to you. She's refusing to accept their resignations.
She is, Sarah, saying they're unnecessary. This was a threat from the Nationals leader yesterday and a reality today. It's plunged an already shaky coalition into unknown territory and piles pressure back onto Susan Lee and her ability to keep the opposition together. The Nationals all quitting Susan Lee's shadow cabinet in a show of solidarity with three of their colleagues who resigned earlier yesterday after voting against shadow cabinet's position on hate speech laws. We'll hear from one of those senators shortly, Bridget McKenzie, coming up on the show, Sarah, a little later.
Thank you.
Australia will come together today on National Day of Mourning, commemorating those fallen in the Bondi terror attack. Let's go live to Jack Hahn in Sydney. Jack, good morning to you. The landmark will be filled with light.
It will be, and it will be a powerful place, particularly for the Jewish community, with the sails of the Opera House to be lit up white. According to leading rabbis, this will be a moment for the Jewish community to reclaim the Opera House after dramatic protests in October of 2023. Today is the day of mourning, and we are all encouraged to mark this moment with a minute of silence at 7:01 and by leaving a candle on our doorstep tonight. Carl.
Jack, thank you.
President Trump has ruled out using force to take over Greenland, but he has stepped up demands for negotiations. Let's go live to Mimi Becker in Davos, Switzerland. Mimi, what's the president had to say in that 70-minute speech of his?
Well, he had a lot to say, of course, but he was very pointed when it came to Greenland, and he warned Denmark and Europe that they could say yes and the United States would be very thankful, or they could say no and the United States would remember.
Would you like me to say a few words of Greenland? We probably won't get anything unless I decide to use excessive strength and force where we would be, frankly, unstoppable. But I won't do that.
The president is still here in Davos. He is at a business reception this evening, and he is expected to hold a number of bilateral meetings tomorrow, including one to continue Ukraine peace talks with President Volodymyr Zelensky. Sarah.
All right, Mimi, thank you. Well, Ghislaine Maxwell will be summoned before US Congress, where she'll be grilled over the Epstein files. The longtime romantic partner and accomplice of pedophile Jeffrey Epstein will comply with a subpoena for the hearing on February 9. Maxwell was convicted of recruiting and grooming teenage girls for sexual encounters with Jeffrey Epstein in 2021.
Prince Harry has lashed out at the publisher of two major British tabloids while giving evidence in London's High Court. Let's go live to Josh Davos in London. Josh, he also gave a reason for not taking action earlier.
Yeah, Carl, the Duke of Sussex says it's because of the institution he was born into for not having taken that action. He says there was a mantra of never complain, never explain grilled into him since he was a child. Prince Harry and 6 other high-profile entities are taking action against the publisher of the Daily Mail and Mail on Sunday, alleging that their journalists used phone hacking and recording devices to obtain stories, some that were published as far back as the 1990s. Now, Prince Harry described some of those stories as creepy, saying a lot of them couldn't have been published if not for those means. He said that since he's taken this action, the life of his wife Meghan has become miserable. Now, the lawyers for the publishers, though, have said that the claimants' suggestions were clutching at straws and that there were leaky social networks as to how those stories were obtained. Prince Harry has shot that down and said that he had a very close group of friends. Carl?
Josh, thank you.
Well, just when you thought the Blake Lively-Justin Baldoni feud had more twists than a blockbuster movie, there's been another. Taylor Swift has branded the director a very naughty word. Let's go live to Jonathan Kersley in LA. Jonathan, the drama just won't end.
Sarah, drama, and right in Hollywood's award season 2. Yes, this all relates to court documents that have been released as part of the Blake Lively lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, in which she is suing him for, among other things, sexual harassment from their time on the It Ends With Us set. This has been a feud and drama for years now, and it has taken another level with Taylor Swift's public text messages to Blake Lively entering the fray. Of course, the pair was very close at the time, but now we are hearing from Taylor Taylor Swift. At one point, she referred to Justin Baldoni, saying in a text message to Blake Lively, "I think this B word knows something is coming because he's gotten out his tiny violin." But these messages also reveal an insight into the shift in the relationship between Taylor Swift and Blake Lively. Swift going on to talk about how her friend had changed. She was no longer behaving like herself, to which Lively responded, "I'm sorry to you and I'm sorry to me and to our kids. F that guy and F his whole gaggle of supervillains." Justin Baldoni has long denied any wrongdoing. He launched his own countersuit. That was dismissed. But this legal drama is set to continue in the courts. Tomorrow, the Lively suit is ongoing and Taylor Swift is listed as a potential witness.
Imagine that. Jono, thank you.
98% of people on the Gold Coast want under-16s banned from riding e-bikes on public roads. More than 5,000 people were surveyed and just 120 of them were against a doctor's recommendation to introduce new laws that would ban young children due to their slower reaction times and poor road knowledge. Speed cameras with the capability to detect drivers across 6 lanes will be rolled out across South Australia. 2 contracts have been signed worth more than $7 million with a Swedish speed camera company aiming to improve road safety. The state will also build point-to-point cameras to monitor average speeds. Incredible vision this morning of the moment a shark jumps from Sydney's Parramatta River near a group of school students. It happened on Monday when Year 10 boys from the King's School were on a rowing camp. The shark suddenly breached, twisting around before splashing back into the water. Well, Australians already adore Robert Irwin, but one man from Melbourne is taking that love to a whole new and somewhat unusual level. Ryan Barry has kicked off an online campaign to have a beer with Robert, but he needs the cash to get himself to Australia Zoo in Queensland. To fund the trip, he is building a scarecrow inspired by Rob's famous Bonds campaign and entering it in the Great Australian Scarecrow competition in the hopes of pocketing the prize money.
This is day 1 out of 7 of trying to have a beer with Rob Irwin. Robbie! So sitting down Rob Irwin as a scarecrow, but of course it has to be the Bonds ad because it has to be an iconic moment from last year. I just want to meet the fella. I don't even know how to make a scarecrow at this point, but we're going to figure it out.
The superfan insists he is destined to meet the wildlife warrior. Superfan is one word.
Did you know there was a scarecrow competition?
I didn't know that, no.
I didn't.
Little Wurzel gummage.
Yeah. Well, good luck to him. Alex Stephano's never say die attitude was on full display at Rod Laver Arena last night. After dropping the first set, the Aussie roared back in ruthless fashion, wearing down the Serbian to claim a 6-7, 6-2, 6-2, 6-1 victory.
I weathered the storm. He was playing some unbelievable tennis, serving great, hitting the ball from the baseline really big and deep and not really allowing me to do much. And ultimately, a 5-set match is a long match, so there's going to be lots of chances, and I took them, and I'm super happy to battle my way through.
Good on you, Demon.
Yeah.
He was the only Australian to advance, unfortunately, to the 3rd round on day 4 with Jordan Thompson, Priscilla Hon, Storm Hunter, Isla Tomljanovic and Talia Gibson all eliminated. Go Demon. Let's take a look at the weather right across the country now. Not a bad-looking day across Australia if you're not in Melbourne. We will see some cool air move across our southeast.
See how he thinks he's funny? Partly cloudy conditions for Brisbane, Carl, Sydney and Canberra. Showers for Hobart and maybe in Melbourne, and fine and warm for Adelaide and Perth.